Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Oindrila, and if you are new here, a little introduction about me. I'm a full-time PhD student in Environmental Engineering at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I use Mendeley, which is an open source software, to organize my research journals and ebooks. In my last video, I did a little overview about how I organize my work, the various platforms I use, and the problems I face. If you haven't checked out the last video, you can check it out now. The link should be somewhere on the screen. If you like today's video, hit the like button. And if you want to show your support, you can subscribe to my channel so that you are informed whenever a new video comes up. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. So Mendeley is a free reference managing software that helps you store, organize, take notes, share, and cite your references. And once you download your Mendeley Reference Manager software, this is the window that will show up on your screen. And this is basically your library where you can add all your papers, and you can add it by using the Add New button. And there are a few tools on Mendeley. You can install the Mendeley web importer and the Mendeley cite for Microsoft Word, since Microsoft Word is the main software I use for writing my paper. So once you download your Mendeley web importer, it lets you add your research journal from Google Scholar directly into the Mendeley library. So suppose this is the paper I want to download. And if I do the view PDF version, it essentially opens it, and then you can see the Mendeley desktop icon. This is the Mendeley web importer icon that is an extension on your browser. And once you import it, it basically lets you add that paper to your library. Now, since I already have this paper, I'm not going to add it. The other thing I forgot to mention is basically you have to log into your Mendeley account using your school email ID. So suppose this is the paper that I downloaded, and okay, actually let's just add it to my library. That's going to make it easier. So now that it is added, you can see the paper is right here. And the software has taken the author here and title, and all the information is sorted right now. So if I now open the paper and try to read it, you can just read it from here. The abstract is mentioned here. So this is the paper I'm currently reading a lot. The most common thing that I do while writing a paper is essentially highlight the text. I can also add little notes if I want, using the sticky note here. So say I want to say that also refer to Bowie 2002. This is another paper that I'm reading currently. And it just adds it as a sticky note here. Now, one of the interesting and important things to do is essentially adding tags. This is a feature I use a lot because it helps me filter my papers according to a particular topic. So say this paper is essentially looking at passive sampling. Also, it's looking at short-term measurements, and yeah, that's it. So now if in my library there is a section called filters, so now if I go into filters, it lets you basically filter your articles based on the author as well as the tags that you have used. So now here, these are all the tags that I have already used before, and you'll see passive samplers or passive sampling here, as well as short-term measurements. So under short-term measurements, this is the paper that I have. So yeah, it's definitely helpful if you can keep the tags as consistent as possible, because otherwise you'll just generate a too many number of tags, and then there'll be tags of the same idea twice, which is not helpful. So now if you want to cite your references in the Word file where you're writing your paper, you essentially install the Mendeley Cite for Microsoft Word. And if you go into your Microsoft Word document and say if this is the text which I want to cite now, you'll see under references there is a Mendeley Cite icon. You go into that, you see your paper right here, and you just click on it and insert citation. Now this is not the paper I want to cite here. I want to cite a different paper here. So you can just search by the name of the paper you want to look at. So this is the paper I want to cite here. So I just click on that paper and insert citation. So now if I want to add the references I used in my writing as my bibliography, I just go into citation style and select the citation style I want to enter them as. I go into more, insert bibliography, and if I press continue, it essentially adds all my references in the citation style I wanted. So this is very helpful because you don't have to go into Google Scholar and attach your references one by one, which is what I used to do before I used this software. It was very tedious. I wouldn't recommend doing that. And in the Mendeley reference software, you can also make your own collections, which is what I did. I clumped certain papers together under the collection name, but I think for me the tags might be working just fine. I might not really need to make them as separate collections. I could have a collection as my journal papers, books, and protocols maybe, but that's about it. The software also arranges your papers as in an alphabetical order, and you could also arrange your papers by in ascending order or descending order of the year of publication. So all of these features essentially lets you organize all your papers in a very proper way. Now if you do this, you'll see that there are many entries here which do not have the author's name, and these things can happen because sometimes the papers that I have downloaded, they do not have a journal setup. They're probably a magazine article or whatever. So the Mendeley software is not adapted to take the information, like sort of filter the information from such a setup to input it into its database basically. So for example, this document is essentially, I think, it's like a report or something. So obviously this document is not a journal that it could put in right here. So these things can happen. You can take your time and enter the details by going here, and if you want to enter details and enter information, you can go here and type your the way you want to save it. For me, it's not very important right now, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. But yeah, this is a quick overview of how I use Mendeley from day-to-day basis to write my papers, organize stuff, and cite my references. I hope you found the little tutorial helpful. Let me know if you have any questions below, and in next week's video I'm going to go over how I use Notion to organize my day-to-day activities and plan ahead of time, do my to-do lists, take notes. Yeah. So stay tuned and I'll see you in the next one.